good mojo. Hello traveler, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you how I manage to stay positive with my lifestyle, with the condition I have. So yeah, if that's something that intrigues you and you would like to stick around, I would hope that you would consider sticking around and subscribing, and we'll get straight into the video. So for those who don't know, I am someone who actually has been living with this condition for a long time. I'm hoping I'm saying it right. Condition, disease, disability. I'm not sure really which one I'm supposed to call it. I just call it a condition because sometimes it's just pretty crap. So I actually have fibromyalgia. I also have chronic migraines and chronic fatigue. Which is just a whole ball of not fun. I used to be a person who actually was filled with energy and just bounce around off of the walls like crazy and just never stopped, and everyone's like, oh my god, where do you get this energy from? Give me some of your energy. And fibro kind of entered my life, and then it just went biff. Not something I ever thought I would have, considering out of everything that I've gone through, it felt to me a kick in the guts at the same time. But I'm going to tell you how I managed to stay positive in my lifestyle with this condition. Now, this is also not just for fibromyalgia, it is for also for depression, anxiety, MS, whatever condition you have. I'm hoping that this will help you get through and maybe just enlighten your day and maybe get you really thinking, you know what, I'm gonna do that. I'm going to actually do that, and I really hope that this is something that would help you. So number one, to put it bluntly, I honestly grit my teeth and push through it very hard. I'm a stubborn person, so I'm not going to be defeated by something like this. I've always been stubborn with that kind of thought. If a lot of people say, why don't you just give into it? Like, why don't you just, this is it, just get over it kind of thing. You can't do the things you used to do anymore. Well, because I'm not that kind of person. I try, I'm not saying that I'm always positive, I'm always happy, and this doesn't bother me. There are days where I actually am, I hit rock bottom, I'm not gonna lie. There are days where I'm like, you know what, I'm done, I'm over it, I'm sick of it, I can't deal with this no more. I'd be lying if I told you that I was not like that at all. But when I get a lot of questions, a lot of people ask me, wow, you're so positive for someone who lives with a condition like this, or that goes through depression, that goes through PTSD or fibromyalgia. The list goes on, okay? And it's just, to hear that, I do try to not show people that I'm struggling. Mainly because I don't like having to answer questions of like, are you okay? No, I'm not okay. I really want to go back to my old self, but I can't. But I do like the fact of trying to help others get through this, because it's a very crappy lifestyle sometimes, where there are things that you just can't do like you used to anymore. There are times where you just want to give up, but in my stance right now, I don't feel like that is an option. I have children, I have a loving husband. I'm so happy that they all help me when I have my really bad days and I can't move, I can't do anything. And it's just amazing that they come through, they pull through. But yeah, to put it bluntly and very honestly, I grit my teeth and I push through it as hard as I can, as best as I can, but I also take it easy at the same time and listen to my body, because if I don't, it's not a good time. The second thing that I would mention to people, or myself really, when it comes to trying to be positive with this, is that you need to do things that you love. If you don't do things that you love, you're what's the word? You're just not going to be happy. I used to be like that. I never did anything that I loved. I never found a hobby or things that would make me extremely happy. I'd just be mellowed out and blah and depressed, and I wouldn't get up, I wouldn't do anything. I'd make sure everyone else was happy around me, but I was just sitting there miserable. And this is something that I always recommend to everyone. You have to find something, anything. It can be literally the smallest thing that makes you happy. You don't have to have something extravagant where it's expensive or do everything that other people do. Find something, that little tiny grain of sand or salt or whatever you want to call it. Find that little piece that makes you absolutely happy. Sit down, think about what is something that actually would make you enjoy the things. Like to forget that you even live with this condition. A lot of the time I do that because I'd rather take my mind off of the pain that I go through and not have to deal with it. I like to find things that try and pick me up, to try and get me going, to get me out of my little funk. Go get a beauty pamper. I love going, as you can tell, I love going in and getting my nails done. It's just a little thing that makes me feel happy. It gets me out of the house for a start, and I get pretty nails that I absolutely love. And they're not for everyone. I'm not gonna lie. Nails are just not for everyone. You could get a pedicure, you could get a facial, you can go get a massage, an actual massage. Like if you can afford it, go and get something like for yourself that you enjoy. But it doesn't have to be something that you can buy. It doesn't have to be pricey. You could literally go and do things for free. Like just recently, I went to the library. I'm not a reader, but I went to the library and I borrowed out a book, and I'm like, oh my God, this is awesome. The atmosphere was quiet. The atmosphere was just beautiful. And I ended up staying there. I stayed there and I read a little bit of my book, and then I borrowed it out, and then I ended up going home. But the fact of the matter is I went outside the house and I went to somewhere different that I normally wouldn't do. I mean, deep down I do love books, but I really hate reading. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like reading very much. But I found a book that actually interested me, so I did it. And I went to the library because, well, I couldn't afford to buy a book. So I went to the library to see if they had the book. They had the book, and I read it. And I completed the book. I've never done that before. But I just love the fact that I went to the library and it just made me feel so much better. I don't know why, it just did. It was weird. I've never felt like that before. So another one that I do myself is planning. I love planning. I love planning out my life. I love organizing. It's the one thing that I know that I can control, and nobody can touch it and move it and wreck it for me. But planning is something that I enjoy. So maybe for you might like to try out planning, or maybe arts and crafts. I love painting. I haven't done it in a very long time, just because I'm not really into that anymore. But maybe for you, it actually might be something that you'd be interested in. And another one is basically, it's a no-brainer, spending time with my family. That's one thing that I do love to do. And that's usually to sit down and watch some movies with my family, or TV shows, just depends. And having game night. Those ones do definitely, we're a family that gets very competitive, and it's so much fun when everyone's having fun and either watching a movie or playing games and stuff like that. And just another suggestion is gardening. Do you like gardening? Get outside. The fresh air is beautiful. Go out and garden. If you hate a specific area, rip it out. Nobody's going to tell you can't do it. Like, I have a part in my back garden where it's a little triangle piece. It's in the weirdest spot ever. I don't know what they were thinking when they put it there, but they did. And it went out, it just went crazy. The plants just kept growing and growing and growing. And because of my days when I'm quite sick, I couldn't do it. And so the other day I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna attack this garden, because first of all, I actually don't mind gardening. As you can tell, I love plants. But I was so sick of seeing the back garden be so just cluttered with weeds, plants, just, it was over the top. It went crazy. And it's taken me about a month just to even get halfway through that garden because of the way I am, because I can't do what I used to do. There was a time I could get that done in an hour. I can't anymore because it's too painful. I end up half fainting, and that's not just fun at all. But just the simplest things, I highly recommend just doing something that you love. Sit down, figure out what that thing is that you love, and go for it, because 9 times out of 10, you don't realize that you actually love something until you give it a try. Just try. Give it a go each day and try something new, or just do something little that makes you happy every day. The third thing that I basically try to manage my positivity lifestyle is to actually keep my house in order. I found that when my house was chaotic and messy, I just got worse. It made me feel really crappy, and I don't know why. I feel like that's just the way it is with me, is that if it's messy, I just feel awful. So I cleaned and I cleaned and I cleaned and I cleaned and I cleaned, and it never stopped because I felt like it was always dirty. It was always just messy all the time. Even though my husband told me a lot of the times, it's not messy, what's wrong with it? It's clean, it looks fine. To him it was clean and it looked looked nice and it was perfectly fine. But for me, it was just not clean to me. In the end, like taking a look at photos back then, it was a bit messy. That's where minimalism entered my life. I had enough of cleaning so much. I hate cleaning. I really hate cleaning. Not the normal woman who loves to go and clean. But the way I saw it was, if I was to minimize everything that we owned, like things that we really did not need, the less I'd have to clean. And you know what? It's actually true, because it worked for me. I got into minimalism because I was so stubborn with the fact that I really didn't want to clean. I hate it. I really hate it, as you can tell. I am not a person who loves to clean. And so I was like, fine, I'm going to get rid of things. The less I have, the less I have to clean. And it actually worked. Simply enough, it actually worked for me in my favor, which means that if I keep on top of things and at least, plod along each day, I typically wake up, go and do the school run. Then when I get back home, I do the dishes, I make the bed, and I walk around the house to see if anything needs to be put back into its place. And if the house needs a vacuum, I usually do it Monday and Friday, a vacuum and mop, and the house it always looks clean. And whenever I actually get visitors over, they say, wow, your house is so clean. How do you do it? And I'm like, I got rid of stuff. But yes, I definitely think that minimizing the stuff in our house has helped a lot, because I don't have to clean anymore. That's the great stuff. But another way that I love to keep my house nice and organized and make me feel quite positive and happy about it is, I actually have been doing this new thing and I absolutely love it. I can't believe I never thought of doing this to start with. But getting fresh cut flowers or plants into your house. This was the beginning and now it's everywhere. But I say everywhere, but it's dining room and then like outside and then like, I'm pretty sure upstairs too. Yeah. But anyway, so fresh cut flowers and plants, bring them into your home. Sometimes that actually is just amazing. I don't know what it is. Now, if you can't go out to the garden, unfortunately I can't, because there's no plants around for me to go and cut or grab out of the garden. I mean, if you've got the money, definitely go to the shops and buy one, because they're really beautiful and they do last a fair amount of time. If not, I would suggest maybe going to Bunnings. So here in Australia, we've got this thing called Bunnings, where you can actually go and buy plants. That's another cheat. You could do that and then you'll always get flowers. But yeah, I really recommend getting some fresh cut flowers or plants and putting them into your home. It really lightens up the day. And when I bought some flowers last Friday, it was just amazing. I was the happiest person ever. The smell around the house, the aroma, it made everything perfect, and it made me feel happy, and I just love that. So the simple things like that, it just brings you happiness and joy. So I definitely recommend maybe even trying that out. So for the last one for how I manage to stay positive in my lifestyle with my condition is to go for walks. I love going for walks. I am a full-on nature person. I love going for walks all the time. Whether it's at a local park or there's this actual place that's called Botanic Gardens. Oh my God. It's just so amazing that I love it so much. I feel like getting out of the house and just even going for walks, because I can't, with the way I am, I can't exercise extremely to the max anymore like I used to anyway. I can only do very little exercise before I get fatigued already, or in extreme pain. So I found walking, it does help me. It keeps me moving, it keeps me motivated. But the best thing about it is that I actually get to go outside in nature where I love. I love being outdoors, and I love the smell of the fresh air whenever it's fresh. It's just beautiful. I love going for long walks. I love going for hikes and stuff like that. So I definitely recommend that maybe you try and get outside and go for a walk. It doesn't have to be a long walk. I can't even do a long walk because I die halfway through it. But going for just a little bit of a walk, even if it's just around the park, or just it doesn't have to be a lot. You just have to go a little bit if that's all it takes. But sometimes just getting outside, even if you go for a walk out to your backyard, if it's big enough, walking tends to help me, and I feel like maybe it might help you. Please remember that when I mention all this stuff in the video, it may work for me, and it may possibly work for you, but also understand that it could possibly not work for you. So I do totally understand that when some things work for someone and then it just doesn't work for others. Because I've been there, done that. People have suggested, oh, do this, try this out. I've tried it, I've listened, I've tried it, given it a go, but at the same time, it's never worked. Sometimes it just doesn't work for me. But I'm always trying my hardest to it's very hard. I definitely understand everyone out there that says, oh, I don't know how you're so positive, I can't do it, I can't manage, and they're really upset about it, and I can see it, and I can feel that they are going through something. But I want to show people that yes, no matter how hard it gets, that you've always got someone to talk to. I'm always here, more than happy to talk to anybody. I'm always open for a chat, and to help others get through a difficult time, because I've always been like that. Ever since I was a little girl, when we actually lost our home in a fire, we lost absolutely everything, and my parents were so upset and distraught about it and everything, and the first words that came out of my mouth was, at least we have each other. And I feel like since literally when I was a little girl, I've always tried to look at the positive side of things. I mean, there was times where I was very, very negative. I'm not gonna lie. Everyone's gone through that. But I try to look at things positive. And when I feel or see someone going through pain or just something in their life that just upsets them, I can't handle it, seeing them upset. So I have to feel like, to me personally, I feel like I need to help them or give them some kind of inspiration, just to help them through that little moment, or even if it's like for a split second, to give them hope to be positive, to be happy, try to look at things from a different perspective rather than be so negative, because things always happen for a reason. That's what I always say to everyone. But yeah, so I hope that this video has helped you in some way and inspired you. If it did, please let me know in the comments below what you loved about this video, and if it actually has helped you and given you a pick-me-up for the day. I really hope it has, because this is what my channel is all about, and I'm really hoping that this is something that people will enjoy and they open it up and go, oh my god, this is what I needed today. This is what I needed. I needed somebody to tell me that, you know what, I'm beautiful. You are beautiful. And let me tell you this, if you haven't heard it today already, you are worth it. You are beautiful. Storm that sexy body of yours and don't give up, because there are people out there that do need you. There is something that I do want to mention real quick, and that is something that my husband always says to me. Although I do forget it half the time, but he's constantly reminding me. And that is that it's not your fault and that you can't blame yourself for your condition. When he does remind me that, I'm like, you know what, you are right. Especially when I'm having my off days and I'm really low. And he just reminds me. I'm so grateful that I actually have someone like him in my life to remind me and go, you know what, it's okay. You're gonna be okay, because you're strong. You're a very stubborn person and you're very strong. And he's always reminding me, it's not your fault. Don't blame yourself for how you are. And that's something that I want to take from him and basically tell you that it is definitely not your fault, and you definitely don't need to blame yourself for the way that you are and for your condition at all. So yeah, I definitely wanted to make sure that I put this into the video, because those are very wise words from him, and I do love hearing him say that to me as a reminder that it's definitely it's gonna be okay and that it's not my fault. And I should stop blaming myself, honestly. Especially when I have my bad days. I do tend to go a little bit down, and he just reels me back in and goes, it's okay, stop blaming yourself, it's fine. And that's what I want to tell you, is that it's okay, and stop blaming yourself. So I hope this video has helped you in some way and given you some kind of positivity and inspiration. And if it did, please comment, like, and subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I will see you for the next one, hopefully next week. I'm hoping to at least get a video out there once a week. And yeah, don't forget to be positive and give love. Bye!